Bring our focus to the story that we are going to be tracking very closely all day today here at Mirror Now, where it's a historic day for the LGBTQ plus community in India. The top court is all set to deliver its verdict on the legality of same-sex marriages. The judgment will be dictated around 10:30 a.m. today and will be live streamed. Now, this comes after back and forth between the central government, petitioners and the apex court over the matter. Remember, the petitioners had earlier argued that the community should have access to social security and other welfare benefits like all other married couples, a demand which was met with heavy opposition from the centre, which claimed India has consciously validated a union only between a biological man and a biological woman. Now, the central government had urged the Constitution bench to refrain from issuing any declaration either of acceptance of any right for the same-sex couples or acceptance of the very relationship itself. The Constitution bench, headed by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, had reserved the verdict on 11th May following a 10-day hearing in the matter.
Look, I think that it sort of depends on the nitty-gritties of the judgment, and one is not a soothsayer, so one can't know what exactly will happen. But the queer community, the LGBTQIA plus community, has struggled for a long time, and many of those struggles have been successful with determination, with huge allyship, with democratic participation. For example, with regard to the removal of Section 377. Now, with regard to marriage, with regard to non-discrimination in not just public employment, but in private life and housing, with regard to protection, there are many battles to be fought.
हम लोग बहुत होपफुल हैं. अब सोशली तो हम लोग मैरिड हैं ही, अब लीगली मैरिड भी होना चाहते हैं डेफिनेटली. सो आई थिंक फेवर में होगा. वी हैव फिंगर क्रॉस है. तो आई थिंक पॉजिटिव चीज़ के लिए ही हम लोग फाइट कर रहे हैं. आई थिंक एवरी सिटीजन इंडिया के सबको इक्वल राइट्स होनी चाहिए. इट्स अबाउट द फंडामेंटल राइट्स. अभी ये सिर्फ मैरिज एक्ट को के बारे में नहीं है. जो बेसिक फंडामेंटल हैं वो सब हम उसको एक्सेस कर पाएंगे अगर मैरिज एक्ट अगर लीगल हो जाएगा तो.
हम लोग पढ़े लिखे हैं. हम लोग एक सोसाइटी के एक सर्टेन सेक्शन से आते हैं जहाँ पे लोगों का नज़रिया थोड़ा सा खुला हुआ है, थोड़ा सा बढ़ा हुआ है. तो आज हम लोग जितना साहस के साथ ये डिसीजन ले पाए थे, अगर आप थोड़ा सा रूरल एरिया में जाएंगे ना, वहाँ पे उस जगह में गांव के तरफ उस जगह पे लोग इतना खुल के, इतना साहस के साथ निकाल के बाहर नहीं आ सकते हैं. आज लॉ अगर पास हो जाता है तो हम लोग के लिए लाइफ बहुत इजी हो जाएगा, क्योंकि सब कोई को पता चलेगा कि देश का आइन, लॉ सब कुछ हम लोग के साथ है. तो हम लोग के लिए लाइफ बहुत इजी हो जाएगा.
My colleague Harish is joining me on the phone line to get us more details. Well, Harish, good morning. It's a big day for the LGBTQ plus community. What can we expect today? How is it going to pan out? 10:30 a.m. is when we can expect the top court to pronounce that very contentious order. My colleague Ishika is also joining me live right now to get us more details. Well, Ishika, this has not been easy for the LGBTQ plus community. They have been waiting patiently since 11th May, and today is the final D-Day when the top court is going to pronounce this order, whether at all the same-sex marriages are going to have a legal sanction from the Supreme Court or not. Well, what is the sense on the ground? How have the communities reacted, and what can be expected here on?
Well, yes, Sami, as you rightly pointed out, it has been quite a long battle for the community. Today, in fact, will be a historic day. They're all waiting for whether or not will the same-sex marriage be legalized. Now, definitely, we did see, that this was a very gradual process where in 2014 was the first time when the Supreme Court, in fact, declared transgender as the third gender. And then in 2018, when homosexuality became legal in India. And today, after May 11th, moment when the verdict was reserved. Today it is expected that the historic judgment will be made here. Now definitely, if we talk about the LGBTQA community, they are also waiting for it because they say that they want the same rights as any other heterosexual couple in this matter. And after this, only will...
Well, absolutely, Ishika. Hold that thought. I will have to interject you over there because I'm also joined by my colleague Harish on the phone line. Well, Harish, take us through what can be expected on 10:30 a.m. The top court is set to pronounce this very contentious order. It's not been easy. The central government has taken a strong position on it. What can we expect today? It's going to be a landmark judgment at the Supreme Court.
Yes, that's right. Today is set to go down as a landmark day, as you rightly put, as far as the fight for equality being waged by the LGBTQ community is concerned. And the raging question on whether to legalize same-sex marriage will also see an answer coming from the highest court of the land, that is the Supreme Court of High-Judge Constitution Bench led by Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud, will at 10:30 a.m. deliver judgment on a batch of 20 petitions which have sought legal recognition for same-sex marriage in the country under the Special Marriage Act. The petitioners had argued that the Special Marriage Act is violative of the Constitution as it discriminates between same-sex couples and opposite-sex couples, denying same-sex couples both legal rights like to adopt and inherit property, opening joint bank accounts, nominate a partner in insurance policies, as well as the social recognition and status that flow from the marriage. And as you rightly put, Centre had sternly opposed the concept of same-sex marriage, principally citing Indian sanskar, societal morality and ethos, centuries-old culture and tradition, calling it primarily an urban elitist concept. Centre had opposed move to impart legal sanctity to same-sex marriage, raising several apprehensions, practical difficulties, effect on other statutes and implication on personal laws. Centre told that a total of 158 provisions in the Constitution, Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, Civil Procedure Code, and 28 other legislation would have to be amended for this purpose. So these were the opposition raised by the Centre. We'll have to wait and watch what happens at 10:30. As you rightly said, it's a historic judgment, a landmark day for as far as the LGBTQ rights is concerned. Will the Supreme Court give legal recognition to same-sex marriage in India? We will know at 10:30. Back to you.
Absolutely, Harish, and we'll be keeping a close track of all the developments that takes place on the story and come back to you for more on it. My colleague Ishika still continues to be with us. Ishika, you were completing that point over there about how it's been a long-drawn battle for the LGBTQ community. They are all awaiting with bated breath, and this essentially is a fight for the right of equality when it comes to a union between a biologically male and a biologically female entity as opposed to people from the same sex. They have high expectations, but the government hasn't really taken a favorable position today.
Well, yes, Sami, as you rightly pointed out, central government in both of its affidavit has, in fact, clearly, in fact, objected to this very idea, saying that the concept of an Indian family, comprises of a biological male and a biological female. And thus, the also saying that the court does not actually have the jurisdiction to make, any changes in this, and it only lies with the parliament. So these were the objections that the central government raised, in both of its affidavits. So certainly today is the D-Day, the LGBT community very hopefully looking for the judgment over today.
Yes. Well, absolutely, Ishika. Thank you for getting us all those details. We shall come back to you for more on the story. But right now, I'm also joined by Harish Iyer on the phone line, who is the petitioner of the marriage equality case that is now going to be taken up for the final hearing by the Supreme Court. Mr. Iyer, good morning. Thank you for taking your time and joining us over here at Mirror Now. My first question to you would be, are you optimistic, especially after the manner in which the government positioned its stance, citing some scars and how the Indian setup does not necessarily encourage same-sex marriages? Do you think the Supreme Court is going to value the equal right when it comes to a union between same-sex people and those heterosexuals? What is your expectation today?
I think we have never relied on the parliament. We have always been grateful to the courts for delivering positive verdicts. One is hopeful but cautiously optimistic as well, because this doesn't mark the beginning of the end of prejudice against LGBTQIA plus people in India. It is merely a road stop. So if there is a positive verdict, we will build on it. If there's a negative verdict, we will still continue with our struggles, and we will build on our fight for more equal rights.
But Mr. Iyer, it's something that the entire LGBTQ plus community has been waiting with bated breath. It's been a long-drawn battle for you. It's finally reached the top court, and now the Supreme Court is set to make that final pronouncement. Tell us a little bit about the expectations in the community, and how has your own journey been thus far?
One does expect something optimistic. One is optimistic. There is widespread euphoria within the community as well. But we have seen this during Section 377. We had a positive verdict, and in 2013, everything was taken away from us. And 2018, the five-member bench had restored our right to live a life of dignity. So I think that everyone in the community also is kind of used to the yo-yoing of verdicts that happen quite often. So we are optimistic. All of us are optimistic, but we are cautiously optimistic. We are aware of the fact that we were not privy to the discussions in the parliament and in the courtrooms, but now we are privy to the discussions in the courtroom as well. We are aware of what our Solicitor General, Mr. Tushar Mehta, has said when he was speaking about the stance of the government. So we are aware of everything. I think when love comes out of the closet, hate comes out of the closet too. So we are cautiously optimistic.
Mr. Iyer, before I let go of you, I wish you luck. That we hope that it's going to be a progressive judgment by the Supreme Court today at 10:30. I'm also joined by an LGBTQ activist, Ms. Aparna, here with us. Ms. Aparna, good morning. Thank you for taking your time and joining us over here. You have also been one of those who have been able to keep your patience intact for so many years now. Of course, this has been a long-drawn battle for the entire LGBTQ community. It's going to be a landmark judgment that is going to ensure that not just the social acceptance, but the legal acceptance of the LGBTQ community and their marriage union is going to be of equal importance.
Yes, definitely. Good morning, all of you. And thanks for inviting me in this session. Well, I believe if today we are going to get the rights, if the rights are being upheld by the Apex Court of India, this is going to be a very progressive judgment for the whole lot of the community who have been waiting for such a long time for the union of their partnership, for the union of their couplehood, and this is going to be great. Though this is not the only thing, there are going to be a lot of more things to be included in this, along with this judgment as well. But this is going to be a very historic judgment in India. Another one, I would say.
But Ms. Aparna, tell us about how do you feel that as with changing time, society should change. But when it comes to the government taking a position that is going to be dominated from Sanskar point of view, do you think that there should be a shift in that front as well?
Well, I believe Sanskar is all about the people, the community, the beliefs. But Sanskar should not only be a taboo only for the cis-hetero people. Sanskar should also be more inclusive about the survival of all the people, all the citizens of the country. And to understand that it's about the people of their own country which they are ruling. So it should be inclusive. Every people should have the right to live in prosperity, which is till date awaited. And I believe, I really cross my finger that the ethics court is going to give a good judgment in favor of all the citizens of the country.
Absolutely, Ms. Aparna. Thank you for taking our time and joining us over here at Mirror Now. We shall leave it at that for the moment.